What's up, y'all? Capone Tony here, and welcome to another Ever Crisis video. So in this video, it is Wednesday. It is a new content drop in Ever Crisis. It is week 4 of the Final Fantasy VI crossover, the final banner. And we will see the final banner, and it is Tifa, like expected. And I gotta be honest, you guys, initial reaction to this, Discord and talking to my guildmates, not too great, but I will go dive into this right now and give you some reasons why it could be pretty good, and just depends on what you already have and whatnot too. So let's get into it. The SABIN style. So I know this costume got a lot of flack. Honestly, I think it looks pretty good. I think it looks fine. I don't know, the yellow pants kind of get me. This whole color scheme is just kind of wild. Green shoes, yellow pants. I wish she would have had like kind of the white baggy pants like SABIN does in Final Fantasy VI. I think the top looks actually pretty good. The claws look pretty good. I like how her ponytail looks. So yeah, kind of mixed feelings on this one, but I don't think it's like Tifa's like one of her worst outfits in the game. I think she's had worse, to be honest, but I think this one, it's decent. It's okay. So SABIN style. This costume, just like all the other ones, have physical and magic ward, which gives you physical and magic defense plus 15%. So that's very, very good to have on a costume. Pretty self-explanatory. And then physical ability mastery. So this costume, again, just like all the other costumes in this crossover event, have kind of just been power creeps of previous limited costumes. So a lot of them were like power creeps to like the Monster Hunter I guess, yeah, the Monster Hunter ones for like Tifa and, or not Tifa, but Aerith and Cloud. They're kind of a power creep to those costumes from Monster Hunter, and it's kind of the same thing here. But this is a power creep to Tifa's like cowgirl costume. So instead of what I think the cowgirl costume also had physical ability mastery, so 15%, pretty much just the added 15% once your attack stance is maxed. So just some added damage for any physical build. And then I think the cowgirl costume just had what, like PATK up. So this is much better than just a straight up just PATK up. So it is better than the cowgirl costume from a stat perspective. But if you have cowgirl costume, it's not something you badly need either. If you want to save crystals. But I'll actually go into the weapon now. So this one is kind of a mixed reaction. Well, a lot of negative reaction in my Discord, and well, it's not my Discord, the actual unofficial Discord for Ever Crisis. So, yeah, OB0120, the SABIN's Claws. This is pretty much a lot like Cloud's Bahamut Sword. I mean, pretty similar. So it has AOE physical non-elemental damage. OB0 is 430%. But this one does PATK and MATK is increased for yourself, not AOE. If it was AoE, it'd actually be pretty insane, but yeah, it goes from low to mid at OB0 and probably OB0 all the way to up to OB5. 10,000% or 10,000 damage when 50% HP or more, flat damage. 40 and 12 boost attack and ability potency. P-attack, M-attacks, and X sigil. 281 attack, so OB0's. I would say OB1, I think, is probably going to be 20k on the fixed damage, which is, a pretty significant boost from OB0 to OB1. So if you do draw on this, I would definitely at least aim for OB1. But yeah, 670% on the physical non-elemental damage at OB6. P-attack and M-attack actually goes up to high now, so that's actually pretty cool. And then you get 30,000 on the damage, AoE. So also, yeah, physical, or the boost attack and the boost ability potency, 5427. And then if you go to OB10, this actually gets another 10,000 fixed damage boost up to 40k. You get 30 seconds on the duration for a P-attack and M-attack up. And then you get 800% physical non-elemental damage all enemies. So essentially, this is a lot like Cloud's Bahamut Sword. I know a lot of people have been commenting on my videos previously, and they're like, hey, is the Bahamut Sword, when's that coming back? I missed out on Bahamut Sword. I wish I would have got that. Well, this is kind of your chance. I mean, it's kind of similar, very similar to Bahamut Sword. The only thing here is, yeah, you're boosting P-attack and M-attack to yourself, which M-attack isn't really necessary, I feel. The P-attack is what you kind of really need here because it's a physical attack weapon. But yeah, it does P-attack up instead of what haste. I actually kind of like the haste a lot better because you can actually get like someone that will do the P-attack up or M-attack up to your characters, like Aerith or any other character that does that type of thing. So yeah, I think that is somewhat of a nerf from that perspective. It's not, well, it just kind of depends. So it's kind of just a variation of the Bahamut Greatsword. And also the R abilities, I think, on Bahamut Greatsword are much better than this. I mean, this is still really, really good. So 62, you're maxing out your boost attack automatically with just this one weapon. And boost ability potency too. So, you know, still good R abilities, but I think Bahamut Greatsword's what? You know, B attack all allies, and the physical ability potency is better than this. But, you know, it's just another variation of kind of the same weapon. So yeah, if you have Bahamut Greatsword, I really don't think you need this. That's probably why a lot of people in my Discord were just like, or, you know, the actual unofficial Discord were just like, oh, right? So that's why I think a lot of people are just more going too crazy about this weapon. But yeah, like I said, if you do not have Bahamut's, you know, the Bahamut Greatsword, you missed out on Anniversary, this is actually a really, really nice weapon. I love Bahamut Greatsword. I use that as a sub or the main hand on almost on all Cloud's builds. So, you know, if you want something like that, I think this is actually really, really cool. And getting it up to OB6, 30k, even like, you know, you get 20k fixed damage even at OB1. So I think it's still pretty cool. Just grab it to OB1 if you don't have Bahamut Greatsword and you want this type of thing where you can do AOE damage, non-elemental damage to all enemies. You know, I think it's pretty good. You know. But from my perspective, I was kind of hoping for some kind of magic lightning weapon, which wouldn't make sense because Tifa already got a magic lightning weapon from her Monster Hunter. So yeah, this is not tying into guild battle at all. So this is something I'm probably not going to draw on because, I mean, yeah, if you want, you could get like another variation of this weapon to pair with your Bahamut Greatsword. Then you just have all the fixed damage AoE, which actually would be kind of sick. But at the same time, you know, crystals are kind of precious in this game. I feel like if I already have Bahamut Greatsword, I don't need another one. So, you know, that's up to y'all. But yeah, as a weapon, you know, and plus, yeah, if you're like a new player too, gosh, like I think a lot of these weapons are these FF6 crossover weapons are really geared toward newer players. So like the Cloud weapon, I think is actually a really good sub weapon for him to use. If like you missed out on Bahamut Greatsword, you don't have his like other ones, the Dane Sword, things like that. You know, that would be a great sub weapon for him. And this, I think, is a perfect main hand or even a sub weapon for Tifa's physical builds too. So yeah, especially if you're a new player, I would, you know, highly recommend it. But me being a day one player and having a lot of these type of weapons already having Bahamut Greatsword, I don't think it's really necessary for me. So that's ultimately why I am most likely going to skip on this one. But yeah, if you're a newer player and you're looking for this type of build, you don't have the Bahamut build, yeah, you can't really go wrong with this. So yeah, those are my thoughts on this banner. Same thing with the stamp card. You get 3 guaranteed copies, and then through 2 pages. Then you get 2 5 stars as well. And you also have a chance to get Aerith's ultimate weapon. So, you know, if you see all 4 banners now, you got to pick something. If you really want to get Aerith's ultimate weapon, because it's probably not going to appear in any more banners after this one. So, yeah, if y'all are finally drawing on a banner for the first time, I wish y'all the best of luck. And yeah, I hope you do get ultimate or Aerith's ultimate at least. If you are not like super impressed with any of these banners, because I'll be honest, man, all these banners are, from my perspective, kind of underwhelming. You know, I thought we were gonna get something way better, but it seems like a lot of these weapons are just not as good as like what we got for first anniversary, which I guess kind of makes sense because first anniversary was a massive event, and this is kind of more just a good event. But a lot of weapons that I think are great for newer players, but I think a lot of the seasoned players, I've seen the reaction, they're just not very impressed. And I can kind of understand why. Because if you have a lot of the previous limited weapons or just other weapons built out, you know, it's kind of hard to find a good spot for these to fit into your builds. Or just feeling like you don't need them in general, right? So, honestly, I still think Aerith is probably the best out of these 4 banners. If I were to, you know, give a review on this whole crossover in general, I think, you know, her weapon is still really good even at like a base copy. You could kind of say the same thing about Cloud, but the thing about Cloud's weapon is like you have a really low physical attack, really low R abilities, and that's kind of important for him when it comes to physical builds. So yeah, I feel like you still need to get a few overboosts on Cloud's weapon to make it pretty viable, in my opinion. For Aerith's, I think 1 copy is still like very usable. Even Tifa, I guess you can get a few copies of this one too, just like OB2 or whatever, and still pretty good. You get the 20k AOE damage with pretty decent R abilities, pretty decent physical attack stat. So yeah, but for me personally, I might go back and draw on Sephiroth because I said this before, my water builds freaking suck. And I need a good water build. I don't have any water Arcanum builds, so I might go back for Sephiroth. So yeah, if I do a pull video here soon, it's gonna probably be for Sephiroth. But yeah, I can give you a wish list on Tifa as well. I'll do this wish list based off just like if you don't have any of her previous like weapons, like her FF9 or her Cowgirl gloves. So for offhand, you could go a couple options here, but I would say probably just something with P-Attack. So you could go Holy Flame Gloves, or you could go Motor Drive. So one does physical ice, one does physical wind. I'd recommend one of those two in the offhand. And then after that, you could just, all you have to do is max out your boost ability potency, boost P-Attack, boost physical ability potency. No, yeah, boost boost P-Attack, boost physical ability potency, boost ability potency, boost attack. So with her main hand weapon, you're already maxing out boost attack alone if you get that thing to OB10. So other than that, you can just go, this weapon for Vincent, P-Attack 62-26 for R abilities, P-Attack physical ability potency. This weapon for Angeal Greatsword, P-Attack and physical ability potency again. And then you'd also get boost attack and boost physical ability potency with enemy launcher. And then since her new weapon has 39 on ability potency, all you have to do is equip her ultimate weapon and you'll get 20 points in ability potency to max that out. So with these 4 right here, you would get all, I believe, all 4 of those stats: boost attack, boost ability potency, boost physical attack, boost physical ability potency. You get them all to level 7. So yeah, I think this is a pretty decent wish list. You can go a bunch of different ways. There's a lot of different weapons that have those 4 stats that I just mentioned. So you could just filter it and find those R abilities. You could wish list like that, or just look at your existing weapons too. But also, guild battle is currently going on. The enemy is weak to magic lightning, so by far the best wish listable magic lightning weapon you can get is Crow Familiar with Vincent. This thing is very, very powerful, even with base copy 520% and with a 1.2 multiplier. So yeah, this is actually a really good weapon to wish list. I'm going to wish list this on this one if I do draw on Sephiroth's banner. Another weapon that's pretty good, Angeal's weapon here, CC Alloy Greatsword. If you got lucky getting a bunch of copies of this, you can use this for guild battle. It goes up to 900% magic lightning damage, so good R abilities as well. So that's another option for guild battle. Outside of that, you would have to use Monster Hunter Tifa, which was a limited banner back then. Outside of that, there's not many other builds to go with. There's a lot of other weapons that do magic lightning damage, like CC Alloy for Sephiroth, or Aerith's Wiser Staff. That does, but these are just AOE weapons, but they do magic lightning damage. So if you just randomly have these built out, you could use these as well. Crystal Gloves. What's her name? Lucia has one as well. Thunderbird. So there you go. Yeah, so those are kind of your main options here for guild battle. I'm personally probably going to be wish listing Vincent's weapon and probably Angeal's, because I actually have Angeal's magic lightning weapon actually at OB3 or 4 right now, so all I need is a couple copies to get this to OB6, so I'll actually have something usable for guild battle. So there's that at least. But yeah, that is pretty much my thoughts on the Tifa banner and just this crossover in general. What'd you think of this crossover, man? I think the crossover was actually a decent improvement over the FF9 event. I think the FF9 crossover was kind of crap. I think the fight was good, but the actual content in the event was kind of meh, kind of mediocre. I think there was a lot more love and care put into the FF9 event. I think the Kefka boss battle was really cool. The FF9 event had no story at all. This actually had a pretty cool story, and if you're familiar with FF6, you kind of get the references and whatnot. So I think it was pretty good from a story perspective when it came to this event. I think this stuff was pretty cool. You could farm different materia that had potency on it, so I think that was pretty neat too. The actual Kefka EX boss battle was actually pretty damn tough. You know, it took me a little bit of time to clear it, but yeah. So actually had some decent, hard, challenging content go along with it. And yeah, the music's great. I think these little pixel art, you know, in the background's really cool. So I think this event was pretty decent from like a aesthetic, you know, fan service perspective. I think the actual banners were somewhat underwhelming, especially if you're someone that went in all in on like anniversary and whatnot. And I wish Celis was here. Celis is my favorite FF6 character, and then, you know, the fact that she wasn't part of this crossover kind of makes me sad. You know, Tifa could have been Celis, I feel, but, you know, they chose SABIN, which makes sense too, because, you know, the whole monk aesthetic thing. They kind of, you know, typecast Tifa as the monk, which I think a lot of people don't like, but, you know, it makes sense from, from that she's a monk, right? So, yeah, that's my thoughts on this whole banner, this crossover. What do y'all think? Are y'all going to draw on Tifa? Are y'all going to draw on any of these other banners that I previously went through? Let me know in the comments below. Yeah, that's all I got for this video. If y'all enjoy my Ever Crisis content, please give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all on the next one. Check out my Buster Sword. Later.